Greetings everyone. Welcome back to Storytime Recaps. In this video, I'm going to recap one of the films from 2019, John Wick Chapter 3, Parabellum. Before we start, I hope your day be filled with sunshine and smile. Enjoy the story. Former hitman John Wick is now a marked man and on the run in Manhattan, less than an hour after the last scene of the previous movie ended. John is labeled Excommunicado by his handlers at the high table and given a $14 million bounty following the unsanctioned murder of crime lord and recent addition to the high table, Santino D'Antonio, in the New York City Continental. When John escapes assassins and arrives at the New York Public Library, he finds a marker medallion and crucifix necklace hidden in a book's hidden cache. John was attacked in the library. He immediately went to get help from a doctor to treat his wound with just 5 minutes of time before his treatment was terminated. He battles his way through the many assassins that dot New York City until he comes across the director, a former acquaintance of his who runs a theater. In order to indicate that Wick has exhausted all of his goodwill, she has Wick branded and accepts the crucifix as a ticket for a secure journey to Casablanca, Morocco. Concurrently, Winston, the manager of the New York City Continental, and the Bowery King, the head of a network of vagrant assassins, meet with an adjudicator from the high table. Both receive harsh warnings from the adjudicator for aiding John Wick in the murder of Santino D'Antonio, and they have 7 days to vacate their positions or face dire repercussions. John runs into Sophia, the manager of the Casablanca Continental and a former friend, in Casablanca. In order to request that his bounty be waived, he shows Sophia his marker and requests that she honor it by pointing him in the direction of the elder, the only senior member of the high table. The adjudicator of the high table has hired an assassin to kill John Wick and the people who help him. In the meantime, the adjudicator appoints Zero, the assassin, and his trainees to carry out the high table's directives. The adjudicator confronts the director and the Bowery King with Zero's assistance. Both are maimed as a penance, the Bowery King nearly dying. John is brought to an assassin named Burrata by Sophia, who informs him that he could locate the elder by traveling through the desert until he is unable to walk any farther. Burrata requests one of Sophia's dogs in return for this information, and when Sophia says no, he shoots the dog. After Sophia shoots Burrata in retaliation, the two battle their way out of the Casbah and into the desert. In the desert, Sophia abandons John after fulfilling her marker. He wanders until he passes out from fatigue. But the men of the elder find him. John explains his actions by stating that he is trying desperately to survive in order to earn the memory of his wife's love. The elder grants John forgiveness, but only provided he kills Winston and stays employed by the high table until the end. Cuts off his ring finger as a sign of his commitment. When John returns to New York City, Zero's men start to pursue him. When they reach the New York City Continental, Zero almost kills John before deciding to end his chase for fear of being labeled Excommunicado. Zero admits that he is a fan of John's, but John rejects his advances. Winston, who John meets with, encourages him to die not as a murderer, but rather as a man who loved and was loved by his wife. When the adjudicator shows up, Winston won't give up his position, and John won't kill Winston. Consequently, the New York City Continental's protected neutral ground status is revoked as the adjudicator deconsecrates it. After alerting Zero and his men, the adjudicator dispatches to busloads of body-armored high-table enforcers to back them up. John protects the Continental from the enforcers with the assistance of Karen, the hotel's concierge. The majority of the Continental's guards are first dispatched by the armored enforcers with ease. But John and Karen eventually dispatch the enforcers with shotgun shells that pierce armor. Then Zero and his students ambush John. After eliminating all but 2 of the students, John critically hurts Zero. Winston, in a parley with the adjudicator, describes the rebellion as a show of strength and makes a penance offer to the high table. When John shows up, Winston shoots him multiple times after the adjudicator sees him as a danger to the negotiations. This causes John to fall off the roof of the Continental. While the New York City Continental is reconsecrated and put back into service, the adjudicator notifies Winston that John's body has vanished and that he still poses a threat to them both. In the meantime, the severely scarred Bowery King receives a wounded John Wick and declares that he will be fighting the high table. When he asks John if he's feeling angry too, John says yes,